Hi, I'm John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Welcome to another edition of Handicapping Your MBA Odds. With me is...
Sandy Kreisberg, the HBS guru.
Indeed, the legendary Sandy Kreisberg. We have today an immigrant to Australia from Southeast Asia. He was educated in Australia, and he has a 3.4. The big story is the big GMAT, 770.
He's got a 770 GMAT, which cures a lot of other things.
He works
He's worked for 2 years.
In internal strategy at a multinational company that's a fairly big and well-known company.
It's one of the biggest 20 multinationals in the world, so look it up.
Yep.
It's all the same. Yep.
And he has, initially he wanted to go to INSEAD, then after he got his jumbo GMAT score.
Yeah, he wanted to go to Europe, he wanted to go to school in Europe.
Yeah.
INSEAD, all those other European schools. And then he got the GMAT, and
now he's dreaming of
either
HSW.
The schools contacted him or, yeah,
right.
I think if you get a 770, sometimes the schools contact you.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, as well as INSEAD. What do you think about this
Well,
guy?
he's got another angle to him. He does a lot of NGO work and consulting and pro bono consulting to NGOs.
Which is a plus.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So what do you think about this guy? He's 26, first generation.
Well, the only thing that makes this guy not perfect is the lowish GMAT.
The lowest
I'm sorry,
GMAT.
the lowest GPA.
Oh, lowest GPA.
You give this guy a 4.0 GPA and a 770 GMAT and everything else, 2 years in working for a world-leading international company. It's a powerful applicant with a history of volunteer NGO work.
True.
So the way to look at it is, how much is the low GPA going to screw him?
Well, a 3.4 is nothing to sneeze at, though, is it? I mean,
if you're
Stanford going to
Business
Harvard,
School,
yeah, it's a problem.
They start sneezing when you walk in the room. They do more than sneeze; they cough.
Right.
And they may go to the restroom.
But are there a lot of guys?
Particularly if you're a Southeast Asian male.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that puts him into a bigger pool in a way, doesn't it?
I don't know how many. Let's call this guy Indian. How many Indian males do you know at Stanford Business School with a 3.4 GPA?
Yeah, but again, not many who work in internal strategy at a top 20 company in the world.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a plus.
Yes.
He's a little light on the work experience for some of the schools.
That's not going to be a disadvantage. He's got 2 years of work experience. He'll have 3 years upon entry. We're calling that, in a famous, useful phrase, low range of normal.
Any advice for him to improve his candidacy to these schools? What can he do?
Well,
or can he do anything?
He can execute. This is a case where all he can do is execute. You might say, should I take some more courses? I don't know. He went to a top 10 Australian university. Okay, well, he said, I take it back. He says his humanity grades translate to a 3.7,
right,
and law school grades to a 3.2 to a 3.2. I would hire a lawyer to deal with those. Find out, by that I mean really focus on those two things. Stress that. You go, my undergraduate GPA was 3.7. It was 3.2 in the law program, but the law schools often grade on a much steeper curve.
And you should make that clear to admissions.
Yeah. I would. This is where you hire a lawyer, not literally, but you try and make a statement about. I think the 3.2 translates into a 3.6 as an undergraduate curve.
So be a litigator here.
Yeah, right.
On your behalf.
On your own behalf.
Okay, odds at INSEAD. Let's take that, because that was his dream school to begin with before he got to 770.
He's getting into INSEAD. He's very attractive. Do you think coming from Australia is a plus?
I do think it is a plus.
Yeah, I think it's just rare.
Totally.
I think it's, underrepresented.
Underrepresented. That's the way to put it.
Yes.
So his odds at INSEAD, 50?
Yeah, they're real high. He's getting into INSEAD if he can convince him he wants to go.
And again, I'm just going to put it out there. You know, INSEAD's acceptance rate is hovers around 31%. Now, it's a very self-selecting crew of people because you have to speak 2 languages, but nonetheless, 50% definitely.
Doesn't INSEAD have a preference for Americans in Europe and
I think they have a preference for North Americans in part because they have trouble getting them.
Yeah.
But you're right. The fact that guys from Australia works for a top 20 multinational company in the world is a real
that
plus.
should separate them out of the pack.
And the 770 GMAT, you know, the average GMAT at INSEAD is under 710. So that's pretty damn good. Harvard, odds. Is there enough to make them interesting for an interview?
Even Harvard is impressed with a 770, although they reject people with 770s.
And 7080s.
Stress for Harvard, write your essay about your NGO work. Stress your NGO work, get a recommendation from people in the NGO.
And that'll serve him well at Stanford as well.
Yes, right.
Especially Stanford.
Stanford, it's the same analysis. Stanford just is more selective.
So Harvard odds?
35%.
Stanford?
30.
That's pretty good for Stanford.
Well, he's got a 770.
Yeah.
He works at a major company. He's got an okay undergraduate degree. He made the mistake of, this guy only has one thing. He's only made one mistake in his life.
Taking those law courses.
Being interested in the law. Yeah, right. And then he took a GMAT, and that saved him. Right.
And Wharton, obviously, it's going to be better for him at Wharton in terms of odds.
Wharton would go for this guy.
So 40%?
Yeah. Yeah, this guy should get into Wharton.
All right, that's a really positive evaluation from Sandy. We know you're getting in. You have a good shot at all these schools, and you should sail into INSEAD if that's what you want to do. But I think you were right to broaden your horizons once you had that 770 in the pocket, right?
Right.
Totally. All right. For all of you out there, we're wishing you the most success you can have on your journey to an MBA. This is
Sail on, Silverbird.
At Poets and Quants. Thanks for watching.